Hey guys, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another episode of the Hopcast. Today we are not going to be doing a beer review, but rather a beer product review. I'm going to be talking about Tavour, which is an online craft beer ordering service that recently, over the last year or so, has gotten introduced to my area. And I gave it the good old college try, and because I really haven't had the best success with other online craft beer services, and I wanted to share my thoughts on whether I think the service is good and what its positives and negatives are, and whether it really is worth it in the long run. So the first reason I wanted to try Tavour in the first place is because although my selection in my area is good for craft beer, I was kind of looking for something a little bit more, something out of state, something exotic, things of that nature. And to be honest with you, I was a little bit hesitant at first because I've had some not so good experiences with online ordering systems. Now, there are definitely ways for you to obtain beer online, which are a little bit sketchy or less than legal, but I recommend you stay away from those because you never know what you're going to get. So right out of the gate, the first thing that Tavour does that's pretty cool is if you refer somebody to the app and they actually make a purchase, you get a $10 credit. Pretty nice, right? I thought it was a good introduction to the app and one that I could find myself using in the future, although I haven't done it yet. By the way, I'm going to put my Tavour info down at the bottom so you guys can, reciprocate the gift, so to speak. No, I digress. I'm really not going to do that. But nice, $10 coupon right out of the gate, which I thought was a great addition. So after you get signed up and into the actual app, one thing you will notice is that Tavour is different from a lot of other online craft beer services because this is not a beer of the month club, so to speak. Although there are gift options for you to buy an IPA pack or a sour pack or a stout pack, something of that nature. This is more of an experience where you can get notifications, hey, this new beer popped up today. And sometimes there's one per day, sometimes there's a couple per day. And I don't know if it changes by area, but some of the beers that pop up there, they make them seem really interesting. They use some pretty creative descriptions, some lengthy descriptions. They give Untapped ratings, beer advocate ratings, rate beer ratings. They talk about what the vintage version of that beer was rated. Let's say if this beer was too new for reviews. And there's lots of very good descriptions, lots of great imagery and pictures of these beers. But it's kind of like a rotating selection where they have a couple, and then as those ones kind of get superseded, more pop up to take their places. Another draw to Tavour is the fact that it is a flat shipping fee no matter how many bottles you buy. Now, this is great for people that buy a lot of beer. $14.95 no matter what. $14.95 is not a bad shipping cost. It's actually lower than like a lot of the other sites, almost pretty much any of the sites that I've seen, like the Craft Shack, Craft Beer Kings, Beer Hawk, things like that. So definitely a good price on the shipping, but maybe if you're only buying one bottle, it might seem like a little bit much. The crates ship every 4 weeks, and you can load your little crate up with anything you please. And if it's anything like the last crate that I ordered, the packaging is really well done. It's in those cardboard shippers. It's super thick cardboard. They're not individually wrapped, so I guess there is the potential that something could break in packaging, but I haven't had any of those experiences yet. Don't want to wait 4 weeks for your beer to ship? Never fear, you can actually move up the shipping date as well if you want to enjoy that IPA maybe a little more fresh. You can go ahead into the settings and move your shipment date up. Now, keep in mind that keeps with the same cost of shipping, so it may not be cost effective if you're only getting a couple beers. I really did appreciate the selection. Although the selection is rather small, there isn't a beer on here that I've gotten that has been terrible. That's not the same I can say about other services, but the selection is pretty decent. What they give, they normally don't really ship things out that are less than a 4 on Untapped. I understand some people don't like Untapped, but I like to use it as kind of a good indicator of, is this beer even worth trying or not? That being said, you're certainly not going to get any whales in this delivery service. They're not going to have a Prop 14 laying around for you to order. They had a couple Fremont beers. I think they had the Rusty Nail or whatever that beer is called, the oatmeal stout that they make. That one was probably one of the better beers I've gotten from the app. but you're not going to find anything super sought after. And if the beer that's on the app is extremely good or sought after, it's probably going to go quick. So I'd recommend you have those notifications on if you want any chance to get it. Now, for negatives of the app, a couple of things I will say. I don't recommend this for IPAs. I haven't received one yet that's been fresher than a month old. And for any of you hopheads that really like fresh IPAs, it doesn't do well for shipping, especially if you're doing it during the summer. I don't really like to ship beers during the summer because sometimes they don't hold up well. So be cautious about that if you want to order IPAs. Although the selection is somewhat varied, they do have a lot of certain breweries. They have a lot of Fremont. They have a lot of Anchorage, which I haven't had an IPA from them that I've really enjoyed that much yet. So that's something to keep in mind. But occasionally they do have some that kind of stick out. I had a Great Notion, which I'd never had a beer from them before, so that was cool. So there's some variety, but it is somewhat limited, and there's some breweries that come up quite a bit. One thing that can be stressful or annoying to some people is the fact that the Tavour app itself is pretty much the only place that you can order the beer. Now, you can go online. There is somewhat limited functionality, but pretty much everything you're going to do is contained within the app itself. It can be expensive if you only have small orders. Maybe you don't drink that much. You may be better off going to the liquor store down the street or your local craft beer bottle shop rather than spending money on shipping if you're just going to get a couple of beers here and there. But I do like the ability that you can only get a single can or a single bottle of things, which sometimes makes it easier. Lastly, some things that can be a little bit annoying for people that have maybe you don't have a significant other that stays home all day. You have to have an adult sign for the package. Now, there are some ways around this where you can pick it up from your local package store, maybe if you weren't around at the time. But they actually recommend shipping it to your place of work. Now, I know my place of work won't allow you to have alcohol on the premises, so that might be a little bit difficult to suggest something like that, but hopefully you don't do that. If you're not allowed to have alcohol on site, that would be bad. But it is a minor inconvenience. So what do you get when the beers arrive? Here are a couple examples of things that I have ordered. These are all from different breweries. We have Rar & Sons from Fort Worth, Texas. This is a bourbon barrel-aged winter warmer. We have a delicious stout from Untitled Hidden Springs. This is their peanut butter cup stout. Absolutely delicious. A couple of beers I haven't tried yet. Father Time. This is from River North. This is barrel-aged old ale. We also have a bourbon barrel imperial brown ale with maple syrup, coffee and vanilla, anti-meridium. Looks pretty dang good from Monday Night Brewing. And lastly, from White Elm Brewing Company, we have Fluffaluffagus, which is a imperial marshmallow stout made with natural and artificial flavors added. So just a couple of examples of what you could expect to see if you were to get a crate from Tavour. So what's the verdict? Is Tavour worth the money and the time? I would say it is. You can get definitely things that are not from your area. If you're from the Seattle area, you can actually do local pickups. That can be a little bit nice. You can get single cans or, just a few cans. You can move your shipping dates around, and the app is really crisp and easy to use with great descriptions of beers and a pretty decent but small selection. I know I'll definitely be using the app again, maybe not as much as I did before because it can be a little bit hefty on the wallet if you just see I want that, and you click it. So you got to be a little bit careful, but I do enjoy the service overall. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video for my review on Tavour and whether or not I think it's worth it. If you like this video and you want to see more product or beer reviews from me at the Hopcast, please remember to comment, like, subscribe, and smash that bell for notifications so my videos can come to the top of your feed. That's it for today's episode of the Hopcast. I'll catch you guys later.